the Twitterverse was ablaze with scathing outrage and indignant fury. Within the span of a mere 24 hours, a viral online petition to revoke Prince Harry's nomination for the prestigious Pat Tillman Award for Service and Leadership had skyrocketed past 50,000 signatures from incensed Americans. "We don't need you disgracing this sacred honor, Harry," one impassioned commenter had emblazoned across the top of the digital protest manifesto. The ferocious backlash ignited after Harry's team had announced the shocking news that the English royal and former military aviator was shortlisted as a potential recipient of the Tillman Award. Established in 2004 to commemorate the ultimate sacrifice of the NFL star-turned-Army Ranger killed by friendly fire in Afghanistan, the annual honor has come to symbolize the highest echelons of selfless service on behalf of the American Armed Forces. To many, bestowing such hallowed recognition upon the Duke of Sussex represented an unforgivable desecration. A former battle-hardened Green Beret who had served multiple brutal tours in the Karangal Valley took to Twitter with a blistering rebuke of Harry's nomination that immediately went viral. This pompous, overprivileged P***K hermit who abandoned his military brotherhood to gratify his ego in Hollywood actually has the temerity to be nominated for the Tillman Award? As someone who followed Pat's example of unselfish valor, I'm damn well insulted. Support for the seething condemnation flooded in with every repost and shared outrage, rapidly transforming the relatively obscure military decoration into a powder keg of controversy. Conservative influencers and military veterans across social media channeled their unbridled anger over what they characterized as a treasonous and unpatriotic nomination of a member of the British royal family. Before long, news of the petition ricocheted across social channels and found its way into the far-right media echo chamber, further stoking the conflagration. On Fox News, Tucker Carlson blasted the potential naming of Harry as this year's Tillman recipient as yet another damning indictment of America's bicoastal aristocracy simping for all things celebrity and monarchy. As the populist fervor reached a deafening crescendo, active-duty military members began engaging in open insubordination against the chain of command overseeing Tillman Award voting. An unidentified group of Marine infantry officers posted a video of themselves burning a photo of Harry in ceremonial protest and sending plumes of ashes skyward, denouncing the beleaguered Duke as a thoroughly un-American cur utterly unworthy of the sacrifice of true heroes like Pat Tillman. At that point, the incendiary uproar had officially surpassed the manageable ability of the Tillman Foundation and its board members to douse through public statements or outreach. The calls for Harry's permanent ejection from Tillman Award candidacy coalesced into an overwhelming, unified roar of censure heard around the world. In the eye of this massively unwanted media cyclone stood the Duke of Sussex himself, no doubt anxiously absorbing the vitriolic fallout with his wife Meghan at their lavish Montecito compound. After years of voluntary self-exile from royal life, carefully choreographed media spectacles, and inflammatory accusations against his family, surely he had anticipated precisely this type of polarized conflagration. Courtiers and well-connected insiders within the palace walls of Buckingham and Kensington reported that relations between the Sussexes and working royals now languished in their most toxic nadir in memory, with zero chance of reconciliation. King Charles's coronation loomed ever closer, fatefully poised as the ultimate test of wills between both embittered clans. Under such withering cross-continental condemnation, most subjects or private citizens would have withered and meekly retreated from the public eye to regroup and formulate crisis strategies. But Harry was no ordinary individual. He was the product of centuries of proud, uncompromising Windsor metal and upbringing. Despite the open derision and radioactive scorn raining down upon him, he refused to bend. Instead, Harry's team doubled down with a tone-deaf, dismissive statement exacerbating the controversy even further. The Duke of Sussex served his country honorably and remains intensely proud of his military service. Though no longer a working royal, his platform to champion service members is unwavering. If his nomination for the Tillman Award allows him a respected venue for that mission, so be it. The seismic cultural shockwaves produced by that defiant rebuttal engulfed both sides of the Atlantic. In the eyes of the Tillman Foundation, the solitary task of evaluating whether Harry embodied the true spirit of selfless service and valorous sacrifice had evolved into a minefield of volatile populism. Pacifying infuriated veterans and the hawkish fringes of American society without triggering the MAGA minions would be an impossible needle to thread. Faced with the reality of nominating Harry as this year's very public Tillman recipient threatening to metastasize into uncontrollable paroxysms of violence and instability, the Foundation Selection Committee faced its gravest quandary yet. Ultimately, the decision was rendered, however reluctantly, by the simple numbers. With days remaining before the planned televised awards ceremony, the petition demanding Harry's outright rejection and disqualification from consideration had mushroomed to over 83,000 signatures spanning every U.S. state and territory. An overwhelming 95% of respondents definitively answered no when queried on the survey question, "Do you believe Prince Harry lives up to the legacy and selfless sacrifice of Pat Tillman?" In a stunningly frank press release distributed to all major media outlets, the Tillman Foundation bowed to the spiraling pressure and formally stripped Harry from its 2023 nominee class, citing the furor ignited by his consideration as a dangerous cultural instigator antithetical to the award's unifying purposes and intent. As a world-weary postscript, the statement closed with these cautionary words. While we profoundly respect the diversity of views surrounding this year's deliberations, the Tillman Foundation condemns any and all acts of violence, intimidation, extremism, or intolerance regarding our mission in the strongest possible terms. Whether or not such fiery rhetoric would truly temper the emboldened sentiments roiling on all sides in Harry's wake remained an open question. Yet one certainty endured: in the eyes of millions of impassioned Americans and patriots, the Duke of Sussex had tragically fallen far too astray from the virtues of brotherhood, duty, and humble honor so selflessly embodied by the late, great Pat Tillman.